Thank you for joining me for another adventure in thrifting with purpose. Hello. We'll begin with this lovely brooch. This belonged to my grandmother. I think it's simply stunning. I wear this in the wintertime during the holidays with a purple knit coat that I have. And there's a little place right there that is damaged. I have the piece in my jewelry box. I'll replace it this summer when I learn how to solder jewelry. I think that cut glass, especially vintage cut glass, is just as stunning as the real thing, and I do not mind not having the real thing. This sweet little book, I had this very book when I was little, and I read it to my children until it fell apart, and I was absolutely delighted to come across this copy. I love the graphics and the characters. It's simply charming. That's my favorite picture, the little bird splashing in the water. And that picture of the little boy's aunt, my mother wore her hair that way, and it reminds me of my mom. I had a little parakeet named Peter after this book. This is a little photo album. I'll be repurposing it in an upcoming video. I paid 50 cents for it. This beautiful little vase, I thought it was simply lovely. I paid $5 for it, which I don't normally pay more than $3 per item, but I thought this was lovely. It has a little damage, but we will take care of that soon. I thought the glaze was done very well. I'll be repairing it with epoxy sculpt. I've never used this product before, so it will be an adventure for all of us. I do believe this was probably made in China, but I can't wait to repair it and put some violets in it and put it on our front porch. Now, this lovely little vase is an ikebana vase, and it is designed for the Japanese art of flower arranging. There's a little frog right inside there. It's hard to see. Now, this was made by Coyote Roadhouse Itsuwa Pottery. They are importers of pottery, and there's not very much information about the company. There are just some U.S. custom records, and that's about it. I'm going to give this to my daughter-in-law, Masako. I paid $1 for that. This little silver trivet, it does not have a maker's mark on it. I didn't have a trivet for my teapot, and I very patiently waited, and I found one. It was $3, and at 50% off, it was $1.50. This beautiful little pouch, I paid $1 for it. I'm going to put my glasses in it in my purse. It could be from Mexico or Russia or Romania, anywhere where they do this beautiful embroidery work. I'm sure it's a tourist piece. And I do make sure that I wash and dry clean things as I bring them into the house. I love it when you can appreciate another person's artistic abilities and make use of them every day. And here we have another chicken. I've become a random collector of chickens, but I do pick them up for repair and repurposing videos. I think I have enough for a regilding video and a re-enameling video. And he was $1. As you can see, he's lost a lot of his gilding, so he's a perfect candidate for the project. This beautiful little teapot was $1, and it has wonderful hand-painted flowers on it, and a moriage that is very pronounced. It's in wonderful condition for $1, and the maker's mark is very blurry. It's very hard to see who the maker is. But this is very like one that my mother had, and I moved so many times in my life that I have very few things left that belong to my parents. So I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to repair the spout. I'm going to grind it down and I'll repair it with a Dremel. I'll try and show you how I do that, because I've never done that before, so it'll be another new adventure. This is a sweet little pair of salt and peppers. Now their resale value can be as high as $18. This was made in Japan, and I will probably list it very soon. All our listings on eBay and anything we earn from our eBay account, that goes to my son's college fund. And anything that we do on YouTube, if it ever becomes profitable, will go to pay for my son's college. So that is my purpose on YouTube and on eBay. I thought these were particularly sweet. I think a collector will enjoy them. This beautiful little sugar is very pretty. It looks like it's a German piece, but it is not. There's a sweet little spoon with it. It is by Lefton. It is a Lefton china piece. Its resale value can be about $8.99 to $11.99 on eBay. And I think I paid $1 for that. Now this sweet little creamer and open sugar, I don't believe it is professionally made. I think it is a crafter's piece. See that mark on the bottom? Where I shop, that means it was $1. So each piece in the end was 50 cents on 50% off day. I'm going to repurpose the creamer, and this has a crack in it right there, and I haven't decided how I'm going to repurpose that piece. This beautiful little teacup is made by Phoenix Pottery. Thomas Forrester and Sons were makers of Victorian Majolica. It was their specialty. After expanding his business in the late 1800s to a location on Church Street, the Church Street Majolica Works name was changed to Phoenix Pottery after the Church Street Works was demolished. And it's a lovely little piece. It is minus its saucer, and it does not have a very high resale value without the saucer. And even with the saucer, even though it's bone china, its resale value may be $6. But I will be repurposing it. This sweet little corn salt and pepper shaker set I purchased for re-enameling, and I don't believe it's Shawnee. I believe it's a Shawnee look-alike. But I did purchase it for repairs and learning to enamel. So when I do resell it, I will make it very clear that it has been modified. Someone who collects corn motif china will enjoy it. This sweet rabbit, I have no idea if it is Princess House, but it was 50 cents and I thought it was adorable. It has no damage on it. I thought it was very pretty. This beautiful little vintage planter is made by LA Pottery, and I paid $1 for that. I've been picking these little planters up because I do craft fairs throughout the year. We did not have any this year, but these are for little vintage florals, and I enjoy finding them. This sweet little kitten was 50 cents, and it has ended up with my son, but I thought it was adorable. I remember going to the thrift stores as a child and usually came home with 1 or 2 figurines, usually a spaghetti poodle. And here we have a set of corn candlesticks. Now, there's a popular vintage maker, Rustberry. These are not Rustberry, but I will put these on eBay around Thanksgiving and someone will enjoy them. They have a resale value for as much as $18 a pair at the right time of year. And I paid $2 for these. Now this pretty little tea towel rack, vintage, still in the box. It looks like it was used, but whoever used it kept the box. I'm going to try and replicate this, and I'm going to put this particular one up in my family room. Now I did pay $10 for this, and it was because it was for personal use. I love the Art Deco design, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to replicate it. I enjoy working with my hands. And this sweet little goose, I will be using this in an upcycling project. It sat at St. Vincent's for about 3 weeks, and I finally felt sorry for it and picked it up for 50 cents. But I do repurpose these figurines for craft fair projects. This beautiful little swan was $1, and all the petals are there and the leaves are not damaged, which is surprising. I think I have about 4 of these now. Now these are placemats, wooden placemats, and believe it or not, a pair of these, the resale value is as much as $24 on eBay. I am keeping these. My husband and I like to have our breakfast and coffee in the backyard in the mornings, and so these are going on our patio table. And now for something almost completely different. This little 45 holder I purchased. Now I paid $14 for this, and I did so because I have, between my husband and I, we have about 40 45s, and they needed a safe place to be stored. It had a little rack inside. It did not suit me, so I removed those. And I will repurpose them in another project. This set of La Boheme, I purchased this on 50% off day. In the end, I paid $3 for it. There are 4 little 45s in the set, and I think they're simply lovely. I have a turntable that converts albums and 45s to CD. I thought it was a wonderful find. Now I'm going to share with you how I cleaned the 45s. This recipe came from a channel called SupraWes. And SupraWes, I have to learn to speak all over again, has a formula he developed for cleaning albums and 45s. And I thought it was very simple, and I made my own little cleaners. He uses this paint striping fabric. The little fingers get into the grooves of the 45s, and it does work wonderfully. So I'm just sharing you what I did for myself. This is not what Wes did, but this is how I made something that would suit me. And much to the dismay of other vinyl collectors, I used cotton. SupraWes made a vacuum to take the water off his albums, but I'm not a collector. These are just personal 45s and albums, so using cotton was suiting me just well, and so that's what I used. I just used reclaimed block stamps. It was easier to grip on. And that one is just the right size for an album, which I have a stack of my husband's albums to clean as well as one of mine. And it worked for me. This is the recipe. You'll need a squeeze bottle. This is what I had on hand. I advise using a ketchup dispenser that has a pointy top to it. Use the finish. Coat the bottom of the bottle with a finish. It breaks up the surface tension of the water, and so the water can get into the grooves. And actually it's a mixture of water and rubbing alcohol. So just coat the bottom there. And use distilled water. This is distilled water from my sewing room. I use it in my steamer. So you want 2/3 of the bottle full of distilled water. And that's 91% rubbing alcohol, and the last third is rubbing alcohol. This is just a little rubber mat. It helps to keep the record from moving. It's not perfect, but it'll do. So you just drop a few drops around the album or the 45. And then make a few passes around with the little cleaner. And I did just use cotton pads. And what I can tell you is it does work. They were filthy. Between the two of us, we had about 40 of these, which I shared with you, but they are at least 60 years old, all of them. Most of my 45s belong to my parents and my older brothers. And my husband's, he bought those when he was a young man, and so they're about 60 years old. My goal once I get all these cleaned is I promised my husband I'd transfer his 45s to CD so he could enjoy them. So that's the purpose of getting them all clean, so they have a good sound. So this is how it's done, and they did come out absolutely lovely. I had more of these beautiful little 45s than I thought. And now the work begins. And there we are. The job is done. Now the paper for the 45 covers is simple paper from the dollar store. It's perfectly thin and it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's almost like the paper the original covers are made from. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, share the channel with your friends, and share in the comments below what you think. Have a lovely day.